the Bible appears more to whisper when it comes to sexual sin.
Are we going to keep bickering over secondary issues?
You asking me out on a date?
America has squandered her inheritance far too long. It's time she repents and returns home to her Father. Hey, y'all. Welcome to Business Makers. Appreciate you joining us. We're live. We're actually streaming live. Business Makers. Hey, Bree. My monitor is not set up right. I can't see Kevin or anybody else. Thank you for joining Business Makers. We're actually streaming live on Twitter, YouTube. We were trying for LinkedIn. It's just upside down now. So make sure you guys share the show. But Business Makers is really what we're about. It's about equipping entrepreneurs, business leaders, and investors to build, grow, and establish their businesses for the glory of God. A lot of us are just ordinary people striving for extraordinary results. That's the goal of Business Makers. I've been doing this show since, oh my goodness, November. Man, that long. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have Kevin of Vangelder Technologies coming on the show here in a minute. You guys can go to vangeldertech.tech, vangelder.tech, Vangelder, to get to know more about Kevin's stuff. And I believe he shared the show on Twitter, so you can actually see his Twitter handle there. But Kevin is a developer. He actually has a nice little bio here for me, man. Well written. Kevin discovered his interest in programming during a high school science competition where he was permitted to build a website for use during the contest. With an innate curiosity and determination, he taught himself the basics of HTML from a For Dummies book. Way to go, man. For Dummies. And continued to expand his knowledge through college courses and a job with local businesses. Kevin's career has been marked by impressive achievements, such as working with Microsoft, to Back Report, React Native, Windows, from UWP, Windows 8, Windows 7, a bunch of stuff that I don't understand. This collaboration led to development of an impressive desktop video conferencing client for Windows and BlueJeans. Ooh. Additionally, he was part of the team that helped GasBuddy rebuild their divergent iOS and Android applications into a single cross-platform React Native application. Outside of his professional life, Kevin enjoys a variety of hobbies and interests. He's an avid motorcyclist, riding a Yamaha FZ07. Last time I was riding motorcycles was the Suzuki. Oh man, is the twin. I can't even remember anymore. Back in 1999, 2000. I had a Kawasaki GS back in 99. And he cherishes spending time with his large family, which includes 12 siblings. He also has a passion for flying helicopters, really adding unique and adventurous aspect to his life. So, Kevin, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So you didn't tell me you were like this helicopter guy. How did that happen?
So this was back in high school. I decided I wanted to build myself an RC helicopter. And from there, I kind of looked into it and realized, well, why build an RC helicopter when you could fly the real thing? So I did 30 some hours of helicopter flight training back in the early 2000s.
So to me, helicopters seem dangerous. Like I've had people that I've known die helicopter. What is it? Always a pilot error or what?
Well, there's a lot of parts moving in concert, and one component going out can cause catastrophic failure. But they say on the statistics side that you're safer crashing in a helicopter than an airplane, because the helicopter is designed to be survivable in the event of a crash.
Interesting. So is it, I guess that's my question. I know we're going to talk business here in a minute, everybody. Now, but Kevin threw me off with this whole helicopter thing. is it mostly mechanic failure then when a helicopter goes down? Some sort of mechanical failure?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know all of the information on that, but that would be my guess. There's every time we fly, we do a pre-check of all the critical components, and there's a lot of built-in redundancies. And for example, a lot of the bolts have a wire running through them, so that if the bolt breaks free, there's a visual component there that you can see that there's an issue and get it fixed before you go fly.
Oh, interesting. When's the last time you flew a helicopter?
I think it was 2009, so it's been a bit.
Wow, yeah. Do you got to like re-up your license? How do you?
Yeah, you have to stay current if you want to do it.
Okay, interesting. I gotta get like a CEO of a helicopter company on.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun.
And while
yeah.
we're on the subject, I'll just tell
Please.
you that a lot of flight schools have like an introductory offer where you go up for 20 minutes and they give you just the basics. Those are generally pretty cheap to try and get you hooked. But even if you're not planning to do it, as a full-time thing, it might be fun for people to try.
Right. Interesting. Okay. So Vangelder.tech, that's your company.
Yes.
You started, and it sounds like you've been in development since really high school.
Right.
Why did you start Vangelder.tech?
So I was working for another company and posted something controversial to the Twitters, and they wanted me to go independent, and that worked out well for me. I have been very grateful for the success that I've seen since then.
So what did you post on Twitter then? Don't just say you posted something controversial. Like, come on, tell me.
Well, someone had posted that women shouldn't go to college, and I retweeted that with a clarifying statement that no one should go to college, because in my opinion, except for lawyers, doctors, some of those really, really critical careers, you don't really need a college degree. You're better off getting real world experience through a job,
right? Instead of paying $100,000 and going in debt, not working out, making money.
And most of that is for the fluff that they tack on to it, not the actual things that you need to be learning for your career.
Right. Okay. And so what's your main focus with Vangelder Tech?
Yeah, so I focus on building software solutions that generally are for either improving efficiencies internally for a company or for front-facing interfaces for their customers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So a lot of UI work.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when we talked before, when we last talked, I think it's a couple weeks ago, you're using React in a kind of a unique way, where you're basically building one platform that can distribute apps to Apple TV and to iOS and to Droid from one platform.
Yeah, so it's a Facebook technology called React Native, and they've built it out so that it is cross-platform. So there are a number of companies that do it in this way, but it's much more efficient than what the old way was, where you're building independent apps for each platform. That still makes sense for like the mega corporations like Netflix. You want to have independent or individual applications for each platform so that they're extremely optimized. But for less mission critical type of solutions, the cross-platform is the way to go because it saves you a lot of time and money.
So basically, if you built us a TV app, it would go to iTunes and I'll go to all the phone stores and it'd go to the TV stores. And then I could go in one place and post our content in one place to distribute out to all those other places.
Right. That would be the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I got to dumb it down for me, buddy. So how many companies like you are using React Native this way?
I don't have a comprehensive list of those. I know of at least 2 or 3 in the United States and 1 or 2 internationally as well.
It seems like
there are probably more.
How come more people aren't using React Native this way?
There are a lot of people using it. A lot of the companies are using it internally
Mm-hmm.
versus hiring a contractor like I am.
Okay.
So they'll hire full-time employees that are doing this.
Oh, I see. I see. So there are a lot of companies using React Native. One location, multiple app stores,
Right. Yeah.
basically. Correct
I,
me.
I
Correct
may,
me.
I'm,
However, my
yeah,
language
no, I
is.
might be totally wrong on this, but if something's sticking in my head, that something like 40% of the top Fortune 500 companies are using React Native.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. And so what are you finding? It seems like developers are a dime a dozen. Uh, is it a difficult competition world out there, or are we over? Are there too many developers out there? I mean, like, what are you seeing from a business standpoint?
I wouldn't say that there's too many. There's a lot of different places where developers can add more efficiency
Mhm.
and help companies out. So there's a lot of opportunity out there.
Okay. So what's your particular niche? Who do you work with? Who are your clients? That kind of thing.
I don't have a particular niche as far as clients are concerned, but uh, we enjoy helping people that, especially that have old applications that are in that older style where they have separate apps for each platform to rebuild those apps in a single code base.
Yeah. And so it seems like that's going to save that company time, money, resources,
Exactly.
hire less employees or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. How much do you think you'll save a company in that kind of situation?
Well, that's hard to quantify precisely. You, I give you the Blue Jeans example that was in my bio. They went from I want to say it was 2 teams of 4 to 6 developers each for iOS and Android, down to a total team of 3 or 4 doing the React Native app.
Wow. What it seems like technology with AI, and it's moving really fast right now. What do you see AI contributing to your world and cheat code, whatever? How do you see AI affecting you?
Yeah, AI is a really useful tool for what we do because it can spit out code that is recommended for what we're doing. And then you still need to have the experience to be able to take that code and modify it to actually do what you want it to do. So like anything you do with AI, you have to proofread what it spits out.
Yeah. And so do you use AI in coding? What do you what companies do you use for that? What apps or what, I don't even know what question to ask. Who's doing that for you?
So Microsoft has a tool called Copilot. They've kind of confused the branding on that. It's now a everyone tool, but it has started out as a tool for developers in our code editor, and you would write a comment of what you wanted a block of code to do, and it would suggest code for that. So that's a good one. And then ChatGPT is a useful tool for debugging particular issues. You can tell it what your problem is. It already has read all the documentation if it's old enough documentation that it can spit out suggestions for you.
Wow. So Chat GTP is even part of that process. So when you use, because I'll just kind of give you some of my thoughts in the background here with AI. We are, I want to use AI for video editing. I want to use AI for transcripts. I want to use AI for summary. I mean, I'm using AI to record some of my meetings, my conference calls that I'm in, and it'll summarize my meeting and give me to-do lists that I forgot, from my call, and because I'm on the phone all day, every day. But I've bought access to a couple software tools, and then like within weeks, there's another tool coming out that's 5 times better than the one I just bought, and I'm like, oh, why am I? Now I'm paying double because I help me, man. Help me sort through that.
It's going to be in flux for a while. There's rapid developments going on, and a lot of these companies are keeping their progress a secret until they have something to release. And so then you just get blindsided by new tools coming on the scene every day. But I think it'll start to level out at some point. I don't know when that will be.
Interesting. So how is AI going to impact like my world, the studio world, the TV world? What are your thoughts on that?
It's getting better and better with generating video and those kinds of things, and also transcripts, like you mentioned. So yeah, I don't think it'll be replacing your job anytime soon, but it should be augmenting very well.
Yeah. Did you hear? It was yesterday. I came across this article where this athletic director at this high school, he's a black man, and the principal, his boss, was a white man, and the athletic director, the black guy, took AI and used his voice to say a bunch of racist stuff. So, had released a recording where supposedly his principal was going on a racist rant. And anyways, it got found out that he used AI and set his principal up.
Wow.
But that, to me, is where AI is going to get very scary to me.
Yeah. I've heard it theorized that there's a possibility that part of the reason that they haven't prosecuted any of the Epstein clients is because they're waiting for that plausible deniability of AI generated content.
Oh, wow. Interesting. So you got you got the audio side, you got the video side. Some guy could be his face dubbed over a guy who's murdering another guy.
Right.
How will we be able to? How will we be able to tell? How they find out that this guy's audio was dubbed or AI'd? What investigative technology in the background will be able to figure that out?
Yeah. Well, for now, there's kind of key signatures from AI generated stuff that if you look closely enough, you can find it. Like, for example, with photos, it's really bad with fingers and hands. But your average everyday person scanning a photo on Twitter isn't going to be taking that close of a look. So, anytime there's something in question, take a closer look at those kinds of details that show up. Who knows? Maybe someday that won't be the case, but for now, you can pretty reliably find AI generated stuff that way.
How do you look at the tech industry right now? This kind of goes back to our earlier question where it's like things are developing, I think, faster than ever. You had the boom of the iPhone in 2008 and a lot of technology advancement there, but it seems like now it might not be as noticeable to everybody about how fast technology is developing. But I see it just in terms of, some of the tools I'm looking at and using and then kind of new releases that come out, all stuff. It just seems like the industry is going so fast right now with, how are you processing all that?
Yeah, it is a very fast moving industry. Part of it, I think, is people are becoming more and more specialized to what they do. So they only have to keep up with their niche. So I would say there's lots of opportunity for people that want to get into tech.
And what is it in terms of someone who's been working in the industry? You've been in the industry for what 15 years?
Yeah.
Versus someone who enters the industry now. It's different worlds.
Yeah, it is. But you can focus on learning the new stuff instead of having to learn all that history. Obviously, there's still some fundamentals you'll need to know. But
are you still using like C+ or some of those?
No.
No one touches that anymore. DOS?
Not for the most part. No. There's occasionally some Swift or Kotlin, those kinds of languages, but
that pop in.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be kind of the most interesting development in technology in the next 5 years?
Man, that's a tough one. I don't know that I have a prediction on that.
Yeah. It seems like, obviously AI, how would you, AI is still like improving. Right. I still think there's a lot of AI that needs to get better, even chat GTP will come up weak sauce sometimes. Grok, Elon Musk's AI comes up pretty weak on stuff. But once is it a self-learning process? Is it going to fix itself? Is it, how's AI going to get better?
So part of the inherent flaw with almost all of the existing AIs is that they're trying to put guardrails on them that comply with the woke agenda. And when you
Yeah.
deny truth, everything crumbles, right? So
Right.
I suppose if somebody were to build an AI with the presupposition of truth, that could be pretty groundbreaking.
Interesting. What is I mean, I've had people try to explain AI to me before, but never really quite understood it, because to me, it's a human developed process.
Right.
It's created by humans. And so you're going to get the garbage in, garbage out that you referenced, with the guardrails that they put in. So it's not AI that is inventing itself. It was invented, and you can get garbage in, garbage out, or you can get, depending on the creator of who created the AI, you're going to get good, like pointing us to truth or not. How would you define AI? Help me here.
Yeah. So the easiest way to think of it is it's some fancy, complicated math that puts what you put into it, whatever your prompt is, through a logic tree. So that may not be a very useful explanation, but basically,
so it's still a big algorithm,
right? Yeah, and part of it is that it's a generated algorithm versus like a hand coded algorithm. Most of our existing old style systems, some developers sat down and coded all of the if else statements, right? Versus AI, it's using math to build probabilities structures to build out those if else statements.
Interesting. So it's kind of creating its own if then, or if statements.
Right.
Interesting.
So the way that you train an AI is you give it a bunch of data and you tell it what you want as a result, and then you have it run over and over and over again, and it scores itself based on what you want as the result, right? And so then it builds those statistics to get the optimized results for the different prompts.
So it'll tailor for me over time?
If you're the one developing it, yes.
If I'm the one developing it, but not you, but it won't tailor to the user over time.
That is one way that it can be trained to do some optimization for the particular user, but not all of them work that way.
Okay. Interesting. So what do you with React Native, it's a new, well, it's not it's a newer code base. It's what came out in 2010 or something.
I think it was 15 or
2015,
14, somewhere back then. Yeah.
With kind of the rapid acceleration of coding and technology and the speed, it seems like computer languages don't have the same shelf life they used to. How do you stay up on the programming languages and keep going?
Yeah, JavaScript, which is what React Native is built in, is kind of an older language that's been around for a long time. It obviously gets updates. React Native gets updates, so you have to stay on top of those kinds of things. But it's not like learning a new language every couple of years or anything like that.
Okay. Well, anything else going on in your world? Anything else in the industry that you think would be valuable to our listeners?
I guess we experienced in 2008 when there was the housing crisis and those kind of economic crunches, that more and more people were excited to offload work from their employees to computer systems and improve their efficiency that way. So as we're looking into possibly another economic crunch coming up, now's a good time for people to be looking at opportunities to improve their systems.
Yeah. Do you know of like any Christian developer networks? Any
there's a Facebook group called Reformed Developers. I don't know how many of them are business owners versus how many of them are employees, but that's a fun group.
Interesting. How many people are part of that group?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, are you gonna? I'm gonna put you on the spot here. Are you gonna be at our conference in Prodigal America?
I have not made a decision yet, but I'm looking at the information and hopefully we'll have a decision soon.
Yeah. Kevin, man, thank you for coming on Business Makers. Appreciate you coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone else, as I mentioned, prodigalamerica.com. Our conference is in Fort Worth, Texas. We got Steve Days, Pastor Wilson, Dusty Devers, a number of just quality speakers. It's just such a great conference. We start off with beer and psalms on Thursday night, good fellowship. We also have a pre-business makers conference, pre-business maker, based off our show. And we got some great speakers for that conference. We got the COO from T-Rex. I think that's his title, T-Rex. He's one of the owners, T-Rex. Isaac Botkin's coming to speak at the Business Makers Conference. And I got some other speakers that I'm about ready to announce, and information will be up on our webpage probably here in the next couple of weeks on the Pre-Business Makers Workshop. We also have a kind of invite-only corporate partnership reception on Wednesday night. So there's a number of things going on. We have a pastor's luncheon, a business luncheon, Friday, Saturday. It's just a full conference, a lot going on, a lot of opportunity to network, and we hope to see you guys there. Go to prodigalamerica.com to sign up your family or to sign up as a vendor also. So love your support, appreciate it, and thank you for joining Business Makers. And we'll see you guys every Friday morning, about 9:30 on streaming live. So thank you for tuning in.
You sit in church week after week, embracing the truth of God's word. You believe the gospel and claim Jesus Christ as your Lord. Yet you continue to struggle with pornography. You feel like a hypocrite, returning to the sin you hate that mocks the God you love. You desperately wonder, is lasting freedom even possible? Yes, you can overcome pornography, but not alone. 2 Timothy 2:22 says, "Now flee from youthful lusts and pursue righteousness, faith, love, and peace with those who call on the Lord from a pure heart." Only by repeatedly running from sin to Christ with other believers can you hope to enjoy lasting freedom. You can live with purity and integrity. Take courage, seek accountability, and do whatever is necessary. Get equipped at accountable2you.com.